to connect to this SSE URL. Okay, so that is the first thing. And what do we get in response? Let's see. So in response, we get an event like this, which is an endpoint type. There are different event types that SSE can respond with. In this case, it is giving us the endpoint for further communication. So remember, first MCP client has to contact the MCP servers / SSE endpoint. And in response, MCP server will give the client the endpoint for further communication. So this channel, SSE communication channel, will be kept open by the client so that server can stream messages to the client whenever it wants. So here, the first thing that we get from the MCP server is the endpoint and also a session ID. So all further communication from the client to the server will happen on this messages / endpoint with the session ID. So far is clear? And the next thing the client should do is to send the initialize request with a predefined payload. So next thing the client will do is to send an initialize request to the endpoint that we got, including the session ID, send this payload, a JSON payload, and we will get a response 202 accepted. Okay. So that is it. Just send the initialize request and you get back 202 accepted. Then what happens is client will send the initialized notification and it will post to the same messages endpoint with session ID. This time the payload is notifications initialized, so which is the initialized notification, and we will get back 202 accepted from the MCP server. Now normal communication can continue, where you could ask the MCP server to list the tools or execute tools. So in this example, we are going to execute the fetch tool, which is the MCP server. This demo MCP server tool is called fetch tool, which is from the Python SDK of Model Context Protocol website. Okay, so here again we are posting to the same messages endpoint with the session ID. This time the method is tool call, and in the parameter we are calling the name of the tool, which is called fetch, and in the arguments we are giving the URL to fetch. So this is a simple URL which just gives 200 OK. So what is this call? This is actually the call that is contacting the tool inside the MCP server. Okay, and we will get 200 accepted. Finally, the reply comes, guess from where? Through the SSE channel that we opened at start. So that SSE channel is going to respond back with the message, and this is the result of the tool call. Clear? So that is the entire SSE handshake or the workflow.